You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Nasty, hateful, insane nation that ever existed.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? Appreciate everyone tuning back in here for the 1130 podcast show. Another episode. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30, man. We're gonna get into the show. Got a great guest, you guys, that's joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. You guys, Kimberly Clark, you guys. She's a founder of Motivational from Heart, you guys. She's also a United States Navy veteran. She's an author. We're gonna be chatting with her on her latest book and everything, her amazing story. Kimberly Clark is going to be joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. But for everyone who's tuning in on YouTube, definitely make sure you smash the subscribe button, like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, got a great guest that's joining me right now here on the 1130 podcast show. Kimberly Clark, how's it going?
Hey, everything's good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. How life treating you? How's everything?
It's treating me good. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed, and so yeah, everything's good.
Okay, cool. Once again, appreciate you taking the invite, coming in on the podcast. It's gonna be fun. But for my listeners and viewers, I always allow my guests tell everyone about yourself.
Hey, well, my name is Kimberly Clark. I am the CEO of Motivation from the Heart, LLC, where I am a personal development coach and I do motivational speaking. I'm also a Navy veteran who survived military sexual trauma, or MST, and went through over 10 years of addiction and alcoholism, and also just dealing with trauma, period. And so now I make it my mission to help others overcome, to find their purpose and find their identity.
Okay, cool. You joined the United States Navy in 2007. What led to you joining the Navy?
Honestly, being lied to by a recruiter. Recruiters lie. but no, seriously, like I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel the world and go to school at the same time. Yeah, and the Navy was like the best thing, and not in a very small chance of going to war at the same time. So that's why I chose the Navy.
Oh, okay, something real simple for you. It was a simple choice. Just you wanted to travel the world, basically.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Well, while you were in the Navy, how was the experience for you though? Well, at first getting into the Navy though, you said it was the time of your life. Everything couldn't have gone wrong.
Right. Yeah, the Navy I loved it. I loved my job. I loved everything, about wearing the uniform, about, the person that I was, the people that I served with. I love the fact that I was able to serve my country in the best way that I could. I was stationed in Guam. Beautiful island. I was on board the USS Frank Cable, which is a submarine tender. And I had the time of my life. We visited Australia, Thailand, Singapore, Saipan, Hong Kong, Subic Bay, Philippines. Where else? Hawaii, of course. Yeah, we went all over at I was 17 years old, 17, 18.
Wow.
Yep, traveling the world. Awesome.
Wow. Was you nervous or was you just really excited just to, travel the world, or just also nervous, about joining the Navy?
I was a little nervous because I was overweight for my height. And so I knew I was going to have to lose a whole lot of weight. Like I had to lose like 45 pounds in basic training. But I accomplished it. It because literally every waking moment we was doing something physical, whether that be cardio, walking, running, push-ups, sit-ups. They would literally randomly tell us to do 50 push-ups or do 50 sit-ups, something like this. And we were always working out. And then like food wise, the Navy has the best food hand down of any branch. I don't care what nobody says, okay? But I had to eat nothing but salads, the whole time I was there. And I did it because I was so focused on graduating on time and not feeling embarrassed about having to, wait an extra month because I had to get the physical requirements and stuff. And so, yeah, it was, I was a little nervous. Yeah, but I was also very optimistic. Like I knew if I put my mind to it, I could do it.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. While in the Navy, though, you were also, you were diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), and also you were medically discharged after experiencing sexual trauma.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder after a military sexual trauma. Um, I went. We used to party a lot in the Navy, right? But we would only drink on weekends or when we got liberty, which is free time in another country. And so it was one weekend I went out partying with some friends of mine. I used to hang out with nothing but guys. I was really 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 tomboyish back then. I still am now, and so I'm real country, y'all. But yeah, so we would go party, we would drink, and I was at this specific party this night, and I got extremely, extremely drunk, um, more drunk than I'd ever been, blackout drunk. And I asked one of my friends, who was also a higher rank than me, to take me back to the barracks because I was like in and out of consciousness, right? And I was raped, and so I didn't tell anybody for like the first 2 weeks after it happened. I was like, I didn't know. I couldn't even really like just grasp what happened to me. Right. I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know how to think what to think about it because this was supposed to be a friend of mine, somebody who's supposed to protect me and look after me and who's supposed to have my six, have my back. And so after that 2 weeks, I ended up told one of my other friends, and he got immediately angry and went and confronted the guy in front of everybody in front of the barracks. He took like six of his friends who went and confronted the guy, and it got back to my chain of command. And so my chain of command had to do something at that point, and they ended up, making me talk to the psychiatrist, of course, and I went to talk to NCIS every day for months. They had me wear a wire to go talk to him to try to get him to confess. They had the phone tapped while I called him to try to get him to confess. He said everything but that. He even apologized and said he was sorry, but that wasn't a confession. So that wasn't enough. And so, after I talked to the psychiatrist and stuff, and I was like, they immediately put me on medication. I remember being on Ambien, right, for sleep. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Ambien, but it's it kind of makes you a little out of it. If it doesn't put you to sleep right away, it makes you a little out of it. And so I remember taking like 145 pills, any pills that I could find, including that Ambien, wanting to take myself out and not wanting to live anymore. And thankfully, somebody found one of my friends found me and got me to the hospital. But yeah, after the MST, after talking to the psychiatrist trying to commit suicide, they diagnosed me with post traumatic stress disorder. And not too long after that, I was medically discharged from the Navy.
Mm. Oh wow, 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 wow. You say you didn't want to, tell no one in the beginning. And did you feel like something? Did you maybe feel some type of way of telling someone like people wouldn't believe you or so?
Not really, not believe me, but I was thinking maybe it was my fault because I was drunk. And then I was thinking like he was supposed to be my friend. I was still in shock from that fact alone because I trusted him. I loved him. Even now, especially back then, I take friendship very seriously. If you're my friend, I'm going to treat you like family. And I wouldn't do anything to hurt you, nor would I let anybody else do anything to hurt you. And I assumed that that's how other people felt as well. And so I was in shock about that, about, just the whole situation in general. And didn't know how to wrap my head around what happened to me.
Mm, okay. And you just talked about it, like you may thought maybe you felt like it was your fault. At any moment, did you feel that way?
Um, I did. I did. Um, because like I had a crush on the guy. I had a
Wow.
crush on him, and that made me feel even more like, what if I came on to him, or what if I, tried to kiss him, all those things ran through my head. But regardless, it doesn't justify, you
Mhm.
know, you having sex with somebody who is not even conscious, or who is in and out of consciousness. It still doesn't justify it, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I struggle with that in my head, you know, up until like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years after I even got out of the military, right? Um, Post traumatic stress is like, it makes you relive your trauma, whatever that trauma was. It makes you relive that situation over and over and over again. It messes with your mindset. It makes you believe that, it makes you overthink about the situation, to where now you're thinking of literally every way that it could get worse, or every way, that it could have went, or what ifs, or it just makes you overthink about the situation to a point where you're overwhelmed, and to where you're completely stressed out, right? And PTSD is just so detrimental on anyone, right?
Mm. Yes, yes, you are right. You are right, and just like you said, that is no excuse for for it to even that to even occur. Um, I commend you for sharing your story and stuff like that. And no, it's not your fault just because you're drunk, or maybe you like interest in the guy or girl. Don't give them the right to sexually harass or sexually assault someone else. Definitely will not take consent. So
Yeah,
I definitely understand what you're saying. I really don't, but I just I want
yeah,
to thank you for also sharing your story. You struggled with that, and you also just said you took a whole lot of pills and stuff, and just
mm,
going down a bad road, and you attempted suicide, and you wound up on life support.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
did. I was on life support. Well, the life support didn't happen until my addiction.
Okay.
Um, but I ended up, after I took all those pills, I ended up in the hospital for like maybe 2 or 3 days. Um, yeah, and of course they had to pump my stomach. And then that's when they medevaced me back to the States, back to San Diego. Whenever I took that many pills, and that's when the medical discharge happened. Well, the med boarding process happened, because in order to get discharged from any branch, there's a 6 month process to where you have to do paperwork and get your wisdom teeth pulled, and it's all kind of things you have to do before you exit the military. And that's when I was introduced. Like, I mean, that's when I really started heavily drinking. I was at Naval Medical Center Balboa in San Diego, and that's where all branches of the military go when they either have post traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, or they have like they're missing like arms or legs, or any type of wound, right? Any type of wounded warrior would go to this specific Navy medical base and either await discharge, or just await the medical help before they get discharged from whatever branch that they're in. And so I met some other people there whom I'm still friends with today. I met a guy. We're the same age, 33 now, but we were, what, 18, 19 back then? And he was raped by 9 men, who were
Wow.
also in the Navy, right? And we kind of bonded together from our traumas, and we would go out, like these underground parties and stuff. Like, we was out there like being, promiscuous. That's how it made us. We was being promiscuous. We was drinking a whole lot. We was partying a whole lot. We was doing anything to cope with what happened to us, right? And he was introduced to like ecstasy pills back then, but I wasn't really ready for the drugs yet. So it was just really alcohol for me. All my money went to alcohol. I
Okay.
wasn't really eating anything. Everything went to alcohol. Yep.
And when was it that your perspective on life kind of like shifted for you and changed?
You mean for the better or for the worse?
Yes, yes, definitely
For
for
the
the
better.
better. Yes.
Okay. Well, after after I finally got home from the military, right, I was quickly introduced to drugs, to crack cocaine, by a family member. And so I spent 10 years in active addiction, in and out of jail, in and out of rehab, in and out of psychiatric units, believing that I was crazy, believing that I lost my mind. And in the year 2020, I braked my truck. My truck flipped 7 times and I walked out of it without a scratch. I was
Wow.
hit in the back of the head twice in an attempt to take my life. I was given bad drugs twice, and the second time put me on life support for 2 days at the VA Medical Center in Shreveport, Louisiana. And December of that year, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, all that, for 10 years. And I was just so tired and I was so ready. I was desperate to do anything different, to do something different, to just change. And I cried out, I prayed. I reached out to people that loved me and supported me. I reached out and, we came up with a plan. We set some goals. Hey, this is what we have to do first. I got to go detox first. Then I got to go to a rehab, right? And then, I got to have that support system every week while I'm staying clean. And that's what I did. And so my whole life changed on January 3rd, 2021, when I got sober. I've been sober now for over 2 years. Um, and that's the longest I've been sober over the past 12 years was about 9 months, 10 months. And now I've been sober over 2 years. And and since then, like the same woman that was homeless and in and out of jail, in and out of rehab, all directly resulting from addiction and alcoholism and trauma. Now I work for the Louisiana Department of Health as a certified peer support specialist, right? I'm a business owner. I'm a coach. I'm a mother, to my kids. And I make it my mission to help, especially women, but really everybody in any way that I can, to let them know that they don't have to suffer in silence, right? And that there is a new way of life. That, I'm very transparent about my story. I'm very open and honest about it. I speak boldly because I know everybody can't. They, not a lot of people can talk about their story, can talk about that hard stuff, that embarrassing stuff that they went through, or they even what they may have done. And I've accepted all the things I've done, right? And I want people to know that, regardless of your past mistakes, regardless of it, you can have a whole new life, a whole new mindset. You can look at things in a totally different way, right? And so yeah, that's my mission. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of how far I've come, um, and how many people I've been able to help along the way.
I love it. I love that your boldness. I love that you sharing your story because, like how you said, a lot of people don't freely, open up and tell their story because they feel some type of way. Like I, was saying, maybe it was their fault. They could feel embarrassed. They could feel hurt, and so many different type of scenarios and ways. But I thank you so much more than you could probably know for sharing that because it can help someone. And you're talking about that's your mission, Mission 22, which raises awareness to veteran suicide. Also, like you just
Yeah.
talk about your personal development and state leader for the national nonprofit organization Mission 22.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mission 22, like you said, it's a national nonprofit. We raise awareness for the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. That's been the statistic since 2017, but actually recently we found out that the VA was underreporting. So the number has actually doubled since then. There are actually 44 veterans that commit suicide every day. 44 veterans. And so um,
44.
44. We raise
Wow.
awareness for it. We help the families of those that's been lost. We have memorials set up, right? And so I am the Louisiana state leader. There's a state leader in every state. Um, there you can go to www.mission22.com to find out how you can help or donate. It goes directly to the mission. It doesn't go to one person. And so yeah, we help veterans before it gets to that point, right? We want to let them know that they have help, that they have peers out here, that they have people who will listen, And also, we have more people standing up, other veterans standing up and showing them like, hey, I was there. I went through that. I know what that feels like. I struggle with suicidality, right? So you don't have to end your life for your life to get better. And that's, what most people feel like, that they have to end it for it to get better. And it's just not the case. So, yep, that's what
Yeah.
Mission 22 is all about.
I dig it. I dig it. No, you don't have to end your life for it to get better. It could definitely, get better here. Um, man, that number is very, very, interesting because you see a lot of. I have family member also, who were in, the army and military and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and come on with PTSD, and you got a
Yeah,
lot of people who join, the United States Navy, Marine, or whatnot, and you can see
mhm,
a lot of them come back home and they homeless or they have no nowhere to go, no food and stuff like that.
yeah.
Why do you? I'm not necessarily. Why is it that you know the we get these military men and women fighting for our country, then once they back home, the country is like, oh, just forget about
Mm. Uh, Our VA system is behind. Um, our system in general is behind when it comes to veterans. Veterans are barely even like, they're giving us a hard time to even get our disability pay. There are people that was in Desert Storm or either Vietnam that still don't have their disability from VA, right? And so they're really behind on it. They say that they support us and that they put us first, and because we went and fought for our country, but when it comes to actually taking care of us, they put it on the back burner, or they think they'll have time later to do it, or we're treated, just like everybody else, like, what I mean, just like the rest of the people that's still suffering, right? We're put right there too. It's not just the veterans, it's a lot of people out here just suffering. But yeah, the VA system is out. They're behind. We literally just got a women's facility at the VA in Shreveport in the past 3 years. That should have Women have different issues than male veterans, and we should have our own space to be able to deal with it and talk about it. And we just got that space within the last 3 years. So they are very, very behind when it comes to our care and what we truly need and what's going to help us.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Mhm.
Good. We'd love to see that more because I don't like it. Even here in DC, you see a lot of veterans and stuff, and well, they're homeless or just things ain't just going right. And it's like, man, you fought for our country. Like, what's going on? Like, that always puzzled me. I never took the time out to maybe just ask, my aunt or so who was, in the military, because
Mhm.
you never know. Like you said, PTSD is a thing though. Your book, stuck between pleasure and pleasing God, and tell everyone about it because I'm loving the name of it.
Okay. Yeah, stuck between pleasure and pleasing God. It's actually, God gave me the title of that book when I was a teenager.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to write a book when I was a teenager. I just didn't know what it was going to be about, right? And so, yeah, and in 2021 when I got sober, um, I knew it was time. I knew that was the last time, and I knew that it was time to tell my story because I got tired of other people telling it for me. I got tired of
I like that.
people, telling my story, lying on it, adding to it, taking away from it. Hey, listen, if anybody gonna tell on it, I'm gonna tell on myself, right? But there's gonna be power in it. There's gonna be deliverance in it. There's gonna be healing in it. And so that's what that book is. It's me telling my story, boldly, honestly, transparently, truthfully. But it also promotes healing for anybody who's dealt with depression, with suicidality, with anxiety, with PTSD. You don't have to be a woman who went through sexual trauma to read my book. You can, it promotes healing. It promotes strength and overcoming any mental issue you may have. And so, yeah, I wrote it to finally tell my story and also tell how I overcame it and what I'm doing now that changed my life.
Okay, cool. I dig it. What keeps you? What motivates you? Because you know you're a motivational person now, and I love that. You know your comeback was even stronger. People, you know, I hear you might take two steps back, or one step back, or two steps back, but one step forward, or something like that. But I love it. Main story is I'm loving the comeback
Yeah.
that you got going on though. What keep you motivated and inspired and stuff?
You know what? I think just knowing all that I've been through and knowing that it wasn't for nothing, now everything that was sent to destroy me, now I get paid for it, right? Now I get paid to help other people by being a peer support specialist for the state of Louisiana. Now I get paid to tell my story as a motivational speaker. Everything that I went through, now I get paid for it. You know what I mean? I knew it wasn't for nothing. Now I'm helping other people by being open about it. Just knowing that I can help people not have to go through that same thing that I went through, that's what helps me. Being a mother to my kids, the mother that they deserve, not the absent one who's leaving them with my mother and coming in and out all the time because I'm choosing drugs over everything. That helps me. And just knowing that there's so many people out there who's suffering and don't want to say anything about it because they don't see anybody they can identify with. Right? I want to be that person that they can identify with, who would use their voice even when they can't.
He does something though. You know, you struggle, your past struggles, and now you're getting paid for it. Man, like that's a turnaround for you. That's
Right.
definitely a turnaround for you. What advice do you have for young women and men who may have went maybe through the similar situations, but don't feel like they anyone will listen to them or that their story matters, or just maybe it was their fault.
For them to think that it was their fault, you know, um, know that it wasn't. Know that there's nothing you can do, right? Nothing you did wrong to make somebody do something intentionally to hurt you. That's a them problem and not a you problem, right? And so the thing to remember is like to write it down, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
worse than, you holding your story on the inside. If you don't want to talk about it just yet, write it down. There, so many people have a book in them, right? Or blog in them, a journal in them,
Mhm.
and won't attempt to do it. But writing it is healing. Writing it delivers you, it heals you, it brings something out of you, right? So write those things down and watch how your life changes. Set some weekly goals for yourself. Watch how your life changes. Do one thing consistently every day. Make it a routine and watch how your life changes. Start changing your mindset, and everything else will change with it.
Mhm. I love that you said that because I just said something to myself and I just said something to someone else also. And I just said my quote for the day or for the week is you will only go as far as your mind, will let you.
Oh wow, yeah.
People don't realize how much power they have, especially with the mind. And the mind is a powerful thing. You don't want to let no one in, but you want to have fully control over it. And sometimes, throughout life we can lose, control over our mind. But you know,
Right.
when you have control over it, man, the best thing is is to have is a clear mindset on things and not get distracted and don't have negativity coming towards your way or just negative thoughts, man. Just it's all about the right mindset, and they can take you far, definitely take you far. And I love it
Yeah.
what you got going on, Kim. Okay, we're gonna keep the show moving on here on the 11:30 podcast, you guys. It's time for the 11:30 podcast. Okay, all right, Kimberly. It's time for the hot seat. I got 6 questions for you. We're gonna
Okay.
roll with it. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Number one, all right. What do you think? What do you think your younger self would make of your life today?
Mm. I think she would be proud that she's finally speaking up and using her voice.
Okay, okay. Were you a shy person growing up?
Very, very much. I couldn't.
Okay.
I didn't know how to say no. Yeah.
That sounds like me. I was very, very shy until I started doing it into a podcast and then get in front of everyone. Because every time before these shows, I am nervous. So
Yeah.
you say if you ain't nervous, then you just, you ain't excited for it. Okay. What's the single most important quality a leader can have?
Honesty. Honesty. Yeah. I maybe honesty and open mindedness. Maybe they kind of go hand in hand. Being
Okay.
open minded and honest.
Okay. Gotcha. I agree. What have you lost? What have you lost on the way to achieving what you have today?
Um, Friends,
Okay.
so-called friends anyway. But I think that's a blessing and a
Mhm.
lesson instead of anything else. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this question. Everybody ain't, everybody ain't on the ride to go with you. Everybody can't go where you go. So, some
right.
people here for a couple of weeks, some people here for a season or two, but you know, everybody don't see
Yes.
the vision. Everybody don't see the vision, and everybody don't have the mindset, to be writing a book or be a motivational speaker or have a podcast. So,
Right.
I get what you're
Right.
saying. I love it. I love it. Okay. What's one piece of practical advice you would give to someone new in your field, or advice for everything?
Okay. To always be transparent, right? Don't be afraid to speak your mind and to speak how you feel, because that's what other people need to hear. They need to see a living example of what they're going through, right? And what they maybe even what they have been through. They need to see an example.
Okay. Okay. I agree. Transparent and representation is definitely important. If you don't see nobody like you or look like you speaking up, then I guess you just like, well, ain't nobody gonna listen to me or something like that. But
Right.
or you just gotta, definitely transparent is definitely number one. Just don't matter. Just speak up, I guess. Okay. All right. If you could hang out with one historic figure for a day, in your time or their time, who would it be, and why?
Maya Angelou, she had so
Yep.
much wisdom, so much wisdom, especially for women, and telling their story and just being their authentic selves. And so I love to sit around wisdom, and I would love to sit around hers.
Okay. Angelo, I dig it. I dig it. Okay. What do people misunderstood about you the most?
Um, the fact that I don't really care what they think, that I'm on a mission to be obedient to God and to help other people. And so, it doesn't matter what they think I should be doing or how they think I should be doing it or what road I should be on. I'm doing what I was told to do. I'm doing what's going to help people, and that's all that matters.
Hmm. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Honesty and real honest answers here. On the 11:30 podcast. Kim, I appreciate you coming through here on the show, sharing your amazing story. Your book, is it out right now for people, to grab a copy of it?
It is. It is. It's on Amazon.
Okay, all right. On Amazon, The links will definitely be down below for everyone who's watching here on YouTube. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions, anything you like to say?
Um, no. If anybody wants to get in contact with me, just go on kimberlycares.org and just hit me up. Even if you just want to talk, just let me know.
Okay, you guys got it, man. All the links will definitely be down below. I appreciate you, Kimberly, for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast, sharing your amazing story. Man, it was great. You're welcome back anytime you'd like to come on. For real, awesome. Keep doing your thing, and love it. I love it. For everyone who's watching, man, it's been a great show. Stay tuned, man. We're gonna come back right after the break. Got the WTF, man, WTF moment and more. It's been a great one. I'm always excited. But sit tight, you guys. You're listening, you're watching to the 11:30 podcast.
Women can raise boys to be gentlemen. Men raise men to be men. Let me explain what I mean by that. Women have the tools Just like men have the tools with daughters to raise beautiful and respectful human beings that could go out and be pillars in society. But that manhood question comes from a man. I was raised by a single mother and a single grandmother, two strong black women. They did a wonderful job, nine in the 90 percentile. That 10% came from my uncles. All right. That when you getting jumped, when you got somebody bullying you, stop crying, go back the next day and whip their fucking ass. That came from my uncles. How to walk around in the streets, how to let it be known without being over bodacious. I might not be the one you want to fuck with. How to walk it like you talk it, that swagger. That came from my uncles. Women don't raise men by themselves. Sorry, ladies. Let me bust your bubble. You do it. You do it. You do a great job. You do a great job. But there's always a Mr. Willie around to take care of a child that's not his. So we can stop that narrative right now. Okay? The Mr. Willie taking you to your T-ball games and to your basketball games. Whenever the son's broken in the house, he automatically comes and fix it and don't want no money from mom. He getting paid a different way. Okay? This is a community thing. It takes a village to raise a child. You didn't do it by yourself. You had it hard. You did a majority of things about yourself, and you need to be commended and authenticated and revered. But you didn't do it by yourself.
And here's the thing, I always come from a woman's perspective, right? We as women, we're taught that we can't do no wrong, right? As women, we're groomed like we can't do no wrong, but women, we could be just as toxic as men can, and men can be just as toxic as women can. You know what I think? A lot of people don't know that they're toxic because they lack self-awareness. They think they can't really figure out like what's the problem. And a lot of people, they don't want to take the time to look at themselves to even see if they're the problem. So, I mean, it's a lot that come with that. You got to look at your background. You got to look at your patterns. You got to look at your history. I've been toxic before. Earlier.
Everybody has.
Most people, when it comes to like dating and courting and all of that, you meet a person's avatar. You don't really meet the real person. You always meet the avatar, and once you get past the avatar, that's like the real person who you probably got yourself involved with. And a lot of times, by the time you get to that, that's when the toxicity and all the stuff that we were just talking about starts to show itself.
Yo, Kimberly Clark, appreciate you coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. Dope time having you on. I appreciate you sharing your story, sharing the challenges that you had to overcome and everything that you have been through, you know, by being in the Navy and becoming an author and everything. So I definitely appreciate you. Man, it's brave, you're brave, and it's brave for you to come on here just to open up and talk about it, because the next person may not be that brave and also might need some encouragement, or just looking for someone who is just like yourself, to open up and share their story as well. But once again, Kimberly Clark, thank you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show, man. It was dope. It's been a dope episode, man. But before I head on out of here, you guys, you know what time it is. It's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, WTF moment of the week, man. Yo, this week's WTF moment, man, is really funny to me, and it really means a lot, man. Yo, everyone knows right now I got a 7.5 month old little baby boy, and he's about to be 8 months in a couple of weeks or so. And my man shocked the mess out of me the other day, and I was just doing some editing, and he was in the room, but I was in the living room, but I can like literally see him. All I gotta do is turn my head slightly to the right and I can see him. And something just said, you know, Jerry, look up. Just something just said, look up. And I look up and my little man is standing up in his bassinet, And I'm like, yo, man. Yeah, I don't think it get no better than this. I think these are the moments right here that you can't get back. These are the moments that you cherish forever. And I was like, where my phone, man? I gotta grab my phone ASAP because my man is standing up. And as soon as he fell down, he had a fit. and he's trying to crawl out his bassinet. My man be chasing me all around, like, yo, man, daddy life on point, man. And now he's saying mama now. So his mama is not so upset that he only said his dad. So, yo, that's the WTF moment. It ain't as wild as all the other ones, man, but this one really means a lot, man, because it was WTF, man. I talked about this numerous of times, man. I never thought I would be a dad, but and just when my fiance was pregnant the whole time, I was just like, yo, man, these 9 months is taking forever, man. When is he gonna come? Never thought I'd see him, but then boom, he comes, I see him, and there's so many moments that you can't prepare for and even that you couldn't even imagine, man. So life is, man, you just gotta enjoy it, man. You gotta enjoy every ride of the way, man, and just have time, with your loved ones, with your family. Create those moments, man. I know people got jobs and they work a hell of hours and they do what they do. Even me, doing the podcast, gig and, from editing to, doing social media to network and stuff like that, man. That's a lot, man. It's just not what everyone see, man. Oh, put out a video and upload it and, put a title on it and that's that, man. No, man. There's a lot of hard work goes into it, man. And the days I'm off, man, I'm off, man. I'm spending it with my family, man. I'm spending it with my son, man, and making the best moments of it, man. And because when I was growing up, I had a stepdad and he passed away when I was 7. And I had multiple father figures though, but my actual father wasn't in my life. And I saw him multiple times where it was riding up the street or going to work or going here. And he always was like, man, hey, call me. Let's exchange numbers and stuff like that. And would do so and did. And I remember the last time, we did that. And, like, I just said his name and I was just like, yo, man, what's up? And, what's going on? I didn't call him dad, and I guess he got upset by that. My own kids don't call me dad. Man, look here, bro. You didn't raise me. You didn't do anything like I can't call you dad. I can't call you pop. I can't call you that. So, it means the world to me. It means a lot to me that I'm a dad. That he already saying dad, and I got a little boy that's gonna be looking up to me, and I gotta show him the way, man, and responsibilities in life, man. So, man, I cherish it each and every day. A lot of people, when I ask them what inspires them, most of them say they kids. Yeah, it's a generic question. You gotta have more than your kids, but sometimes uh your kids could be that big inspiration that you needed. You might have had a wild 20s, wild teenage life, and you had that kid, and that kid set your ass down. I done seen a couple of people who was wild, man. And then once they had a kid, it just set their ass down. They were just totally a different person, man. But yeah, man, my little man inspires me. But not only with him, he inspires me. Just I think life inspires me. Life inspires. Yeah, life is hard, man. Life is hard, but it's all about that mindset. It's all about the mental mindset that you have going through life. That you go through life with. You gotta have the right mental state, man. My mom always tells me, you know, don't let no one ever take control over your mind, man. And I know that sound, really easy, and some people may sound hard, but man, come on, man, don't let nobody take control over your mind because your mind is a powerful, powerful, powerful thing, man. For real. Don't let nothing, in it, as far as negativity. Watch what you watch what who you be around, what you observe, because if you hanging around if you're hanging around a couple of people a day or a couple of people every now and then who just don't feel like doing shit now you don't feel like doing shit. You feel me? Like, come on, man. You gotta have that right mentality and mindset to just go after it, man. It's 2023. It is so much resources. There's so much information out here that you can do and create something that you probably couldn't do 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, because of technology, because of social media, because of everything that's going on, man. So take advantage of it, man. And people out here, just go after it, man. Life is precious. You don't know when your last day is, man. So you just gotta live it out. You definitely gotta live it out. Once again, man, this has been a great episode. I ain't gonna keep rambling on. I just had to get that off my chest, man. And also shout out to once again to Kimberly Clark for coming through here on the 1130 podcast show, man. There's a lot of people out here, man, living excuse me, living with that gift, man, balled up inside of them, man. They know what they love to do. They know it each and every day. This is what I love to do. And I'm not talking about drinking, I'm not talking about smoking or playing video games. I'm talking about something that you love to do that can actually make you money. Whether it's talking. I know a lot of motherfuckers who love to talk. You feel me? But they just don't want to. They don't want to put the work in. I think that's the big. People don't want to put the work in, man. You feel me? They want to get paid. They want to do that, but they don't want to put the work in, bro. The work, man, is about the work. It's about the work you put in. It's about the commitment you put in. It's about the consistency that you deliver, man. It's about the work, man. And a lot of people don't want to put in that work. You feel me? They quick to call off on the day that they ain't off on, man. You feel me? You gotta get your ass up, man. You gotta get up and get moving. Each and every day that God allows me to open my eyes, man, to see another day, I'm quick to get up, man. I remember my late brother, man, rest in peace, Isaac, man, I love you. And every time he'd call me early in the morning, man, he was like, man, you still sleep, man. Man, call me when you get up. Or to a point where he started like trash talking me, like, get up, man, make sure you get up, man. You gotta live, man, like. And ever since then, man, I took in that, and just took in a lot of stuff that he taught me and I learned from him and just applied it to my life, man. It's just every day is a blessing, man. I gotta utilize my whole entire day. Yeah, it may be a day like I was just talking about. When I'm off, I'm off. I'm chilling. If it's a Saturday, maybe a Friday or whatever like that, or Sunday, I'm off. I'm not doing nothing podcast related. I'm not, no. I'm chilling with my family. I'm watching a good movie. I'm relaxing because when I'm podcasting, I'm podcasting. And when I'm editing, I'm editing. So, each and every day, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's all about how you look at it, man. For real. Yo, great show, man. Great show and a dope show. Thank everyone for tuning in once again. If you haven't done so, man, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button down below, you guys. The link is in the bio, man. Definitely pick up some of the 1130 podcast merch, man. But before I head on out of here, you know what time it is. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. Like I said, man, if you haven't done so this entire episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, man. Yes, follow the 1130 podcast on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram at the 1130 podcast _ Make sure you keep up to date to all the 1130 podcast social media channels and pages for new content and everything, man, for real. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, you guys. I thank everyone for coming through on the Beyond 1130 episode last week. Shout out to Harley Hendricks. Shout out to my guy Big Smash, and also shout out to Gator Live. If you have not checked that episode out, definitely go check it out. Where we talk about when we talk about keys to a healthy relationship, we talk about true love, the black culture, the black family structure, and we talk about what does sex means to you. Just a bunch of stuff, man. When we talk about sex, relationships, parenting, and more current events on episode on Beyond 1130 episodes, man. So definitely check that out. Another episode is coming soon, episode 5. So definitely, man, stay tuned. And also, the 1130 podcast Talk Pro Wrestling, you guys, is live this week, you guys. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, man. Commission Talks edition. Yes, man, is live this week. We're gonna be chatting about everything that went down on Monday Night Raw. I'm not a fan of the Brock Lesnar Omos thing, but let's see how it goes. Lita returns and wins the tag team championships with Becky Lynch. That's going to be something. SmackDown is in DC Friday night. I'm definitely trying to get me a ticket. I want to see what this bloodline thing goes and what Cody Rhodes got to say to Roman Reigns. AEW Revolution is this Sunday all that and more, man. We got a bunch we're gonna talk about on the commission talk this week, man. So tap in for real. But yo, I'm out of here on out of here from my dope, lovely guest Kimberly Clark and myself, Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Thank everyone, man. Stay safe. Give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, man. Peace, man. Until next time, I'm out.